Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to another relationship and breakup support live stream. This will be my second one. Starting a couple of minutes late, but welcome everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a good weekend. Hopefully we can get some people in here that, have some questions or want to talk and give their story. What's going on? What is going on in your world out there? I know we did my first relationship and breakup support live stream a couple of days ago, like a Thursday morning. We had a few viewers. We had, I think, 7 viewers. 7 viewers most of the time, but not a whole lot of people were brave enough to, kind of speak up. I do believe that, some of the viewers were probably people that are more used to, me doing games and video game reviews and stuff like that. Don't think that a lot of people really know that I am becoming a relationship life coach to help people out. Here we're looking at Skyrim. Recorded stream where I was basically just looking at the granite mountains in the background and standing there for the beauty of it all. Taking the beauty of the clouds and the mountains and hearing the wind, wave the trees. I find Skyrim just, taking it in, a really nice, peaceful backdrop for videos just like that. But welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to my channel. If you guys aren't yet subscribed, as you're watching this video, whether it be live or maybe you're watching the replay of this live stream, I want to go ahead and send you all my thoughts, prayers, and care for what may be a very difficult time for you. I think a lot of people tune into these kind of streams, especially live streams and videos about breakup, because you're going through some rough times. Things are not easy. Their heart is hurting. So if your heart is hurting out there, if you've been crying into your pillow or wiping away those tears in the corner of your eyes, my heart does go out to you. Been there. It's not fun. One thing I can promise you though is it does get easier. It does get better. I'm here to help. Really am. So if I can help you, if I can make things easier for you, please let me know in the comments here, the live stream chat if you're here live. We'll do my best to respond to you, even if this even if you're watching this live stream a month after I aired it. You get a flag and you do get a notification for every comment on every video. I always try to respond to all my comments the best that I can. Try to acknowledge or answer questions, whatever it might be. So we only have one person here in the stream so far. I would expect that more people will be tuning in the longer we stream. I would hope so. I would hope that me going live and spending my time here would not be for nothing. Definitely a big change for me in what I've been doing the last couple of years anyway, as far as making content, making video game videos and reviews and live streams. There's a whole new direction for me here, Zaxtorian channel. It's a hard world we're living in right now for sure, with the COVID, with places shutting down, with people quarantining, having to stay indoors, having to wear masks, protect themselves. I think a lot of people are really stressed right now. think a lot of people are really pent up from maybe staying indoors and going through everything for the past, what is it now, 8 months, something like that. Been going through this crisis for quite some time. And if you're here in America, with all the cases shooting up as winter's about to set in, and a new president, looking very likely that we're probably going to have a nationwide shutdown, hitting America here soon. So that is another thing that I'm sure has people a little bit worried. But I do believe that if we do have to do a shutdown, it'll probably be for the best as far as COVID cases. It may not be the best for people financially. We just need to get out there and make money, pay their bills. So if we do shut down, hopefully they'll provide people that needed some kind of financial support system. They can pay their bills, keep the power on, and keep food on the table. But the reason I bring all that up is because I do believe that right now, the whole world over, with COVID being a big deal, with COVID causing shutdowns across the world, I do believe that's playing a big part in the health of relationships. I think a lot of people that are living together are feeling almost overwhelmed as far as feeling like they're being closed in and having to spend more time with their spouse or their significant other. And I think that can put a strain on a relationship when you can't get out, or you feel like you can't get out, forced to spend too much time together. I'm sure that's putting a big strain on a lot of marriages, couples going through this. People need their space, I think, and people need to be able to get out and do things like we're used to doing in a normal world, in a COVID-free world. So I expect the number of divorces to go way up once things get back to some kind of normalcy. Not just even in America, probably the world over. I would be surprised if the divorce rate in America doesn't really shoot up for several months after things do get back to normal. People are just going to be fed up and wound up about everything, being that close together for so long. Can't communicate. If you don't have a close, healthy relationship, COVID's definitely going to play a big part. They're going to have a big impact on people. And then if we talk about, what is COVID doing to people that aren't closed in the same house or whatever, or same apartment or whatnot, so long. I think that COVID is also playing a big impact on people that are dating online, people that are maybe forced to, go into a relationship where they're used to being together, and now because of COVID, people are living apart and going into kind of a more of a long distance relationship as well. That can certainly be a strain on a normal relationship and what people are used to. So COVID is definitely having a big impact on people's relationships and marriages right now. I do believe that. We still don't have a whole lot of people here. We don't have a whole lot of people. We have nobody talking in the chat as of yet. Hopefully that will change here soon. Hopefully we will be noticed out there, and I think that's a big problem. Speaking of problems, like in relationships and marriages and stuff like that, been much more difficult lately to, not even just lately, not since COVID, but it's been much more difficult as a live streamer the past few years, I think, to get noticed, to get, you know, for people to get, even people that are subscribed to my channel a lot of times don't get notifications that I am live. And that makes it hard on a content creator like myself, you know, to get the attention that I feel like my videos and live streams deserve. And that's been, you know, difficult and difficult to deal with, you know, for a content creator. Now here I am, 15,000 subscribers, and you know, I go live here to try to help people out. And there's probably people out there browsing YouTube right now looking for videos or content on how they deal with a breakup, or how they you know, questions they might have on their relationship. And they probably be here right now, be willing to put questions and stuff into the chat, but they can't find me because I'm so far down in the search, so far down on the list for whatever they're searching for, whether it be breakup or relationships or love or whatnot. But hopefully the more viewers that do come in here, the more we'll get noticed here by people that might want to talk, or might want to share what's going on, or might want to ask a question that hopefully I can help them with. So it can be very daunting, it can be very difficult when you're going through a breakup, or where you have a question about a spouse or your significant other that you're dating. It can be very difficult to sometimes get to see things clearly. A lot of times I feel like people, if they do talk, they talk to friends or they talk to family about their spouse or about their girlfriend or boyfriend or the person they're dating. I feel like a lot of times family and friends try to do the right thing, but more often than not they probably steer people in the wrong direction because they are so close to them. They really only want them to be happy. They want, you know, to try to steer them right, but sometimes giving them completely wrong information can be what happens. I am here, guys. If you guys are tuning in, you guys are watching the stream and you guys are wanting to ask a question, I would really like to help. I would also like to see that my time being spent live streaming here is going to help at least one or two people out, or going to be fruitful in some way. Drinking my first cup of coffee this morning. I don't know what time it is where you're at while you're watching this. I feel like a lot of people probably do depend on the coffee beans like I do to wake them up, make them feel more alert, give them the energy they need. Coffee can definitely be addicting for sure. We have an excellent connection here. I'm looking here. Looks like we aren't dropping any kind of content and people tuning in. If you're looking at the pine trees in the mountains, foggy night on the screen, you're wondering what's going on, that is simply a pre-recorded scene in Skyrim. Felt like it's a nice backdrop for videos just like this. Alright guys, whoever's here with about 20 minutes into the stream and nobody coming in and asking any questions, maybe it's a little bit too early for me to be doing these kind of streams. I would felt a little bit of confidence that we would get more streamers today, seeing as how I had 6 or 7 viewers watching me on Thursday morning. Figured doing a stream on Saturday morning might prove gather a few more viewers. How you doing, Gary? What's going on? How you doing today? You guys are new here and you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, especially if you've seen my videos or you believe that, you know, my live streams, which I plan on continuing here, may be of any kind of assistance to you. That way you get alerts when I do upload a new video about relationships or breakups that might help you in some way. I know that a big part of my channel is, you know, video games, but this is kind of a new direction and something I am, you know, definitely passionate about, helping people deal with relationships, other breakups, etc. How you doing, Sherry? What's going on? What is your question? I'm fine. I just woke up. New here, just got the live stream. Well, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. If you had a question, feel free to ask whatever the question is. Hopefully, it's something that you're dealing with, or something that you're, you know, legitimate question about with your relationship or breakup or whatever's going on. Keep in mind, the more clarity, the more detail you give me about your relationship. Obviously, we don't want any kind of things like, you know, first and last names, or, you know, we don't need where you live as far as details about where you live. Knowing that we live in America or whatever would be nice. Coast, West Coast, France, whatever, that's always helpful. A little bit, but more detail you can give about your relationship or definitely help me give you better advice. Gary says, my partner of 15 years. Okay. We have been separated for a couple months. Sorry to hear that. 15 years is a long time. Now, when you say partner, were you married? Or were you just living together? Or doing this separation? He told me that he was working in another city about an hour away, California. Okay. So you two split up and decided to move into different houses or different places to live. And partner told you that he was going to be working in another city about an hour away from where you're at in California. We're not married. He was working. He was working is all you knew? Okay. So what do you feel, Sherry, what do you feel caused the separation? Like, 15 years is a long time to live together and end with somebody. What do you feel like caused the breakup? Now that you've been separated for a couple months now. I'm sure that in a couple months it's been very hard times to be without him, to not be sleeping in the same bed anymore, not have him around for all the things that you probably enjoy doing, whether it be watching TV or even simple things like eating dinner, eating breakfast together, whatever it might be. But I'm also sure that in a couple of months, you've probably done a lot of self-reflection as well. And looking back and trying to remember things and trying to figure out what might have happened, what caused the breakup. Okay, so no contact on phone or didn't see him for weeks at a time. Every time he always told me he would be home in a couple of days. And come to find out from 5 different people. Now, Sherry, do you have Discord? If you have Discord, I'm willing to... It might make things easier if you wanted to speak to me on voice. If you have... I don't know if you have Discord or not. But if you do, I can definitely give you a Discord link and you can come speak, if you're willing, live to me. Get your question to be a little bit more clear, or more of like a one-on-one type of a chat. Like I said, you would have to have Discord, you'd have to be willing to do that live. But he was cheating on me. I was heartbroken. He never once admitted to it, but always everyone was talking trash on him. So it was a lot. Did you ever have any kind of proof besides hearsay, Harry, that he was cheating? And I mean, I don't know him. I don't know you, and I don't know the people that were telling you that he was cheating. But, you know, a lot of times in those situations, you know, they can definitely hurt, especially when you're being told from several different people that your significant other is cheating. But, what do you really believe? Harry says, we still have no contact, but he does still love me. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be really hard, even if he's been cheating on you. It's going to be really hard for him not to still care about you or, you know, still love you. Because 15 years is a long time. It's a big chunk of your life to spend with somebody. My question is, should I wait for him to come back, or should I move on? Well, that's really going to depend on a lot of different variables, Barry. You know, first of all, how much do you believe that he was cheating on you? You know, with him never admitting to you that he cheated on you, you know, it's really difficult to tell you what to do. Also, another question that comes to play here is, with 15 years together, do you guys have any kids together? And if you do have kids, how old are they? Do they live with him? Do they live with you? I really do believe he still loves me, but I'm having trouble letting go for now. That's very understandable. And I can certainly understand that. I'm confused. Well, we could probably get a little bit more clarity, because there is such... It's so easy to misread or misunderstand things when I'm reading text. I mean, you are hearing my voice, and you're hearing, hopefully, my empathy going out to you. And I know that everything hurts, you know, no children and 3 dogs. So if you have Discord, like I said, Sherry, I'm more than willing to give you a Discord link in the chat, and you can come talk to me. And, you know, we can try to work through this and maybe hopefully give you a little bit more clarity. There is no cost. You know, I certainly don't charge any kind of money, but obviously your voice would be on a live stream that other people could hear. and it may be something you're not willing to do. But first of all, you would have to have Discord, you'd have to have a microphone, and to speak. Okay, I don't have Discord, and you're doing fine on your text. Okay, that's fine. I know that some people would probably want to be heard, or rather than talk than type things out. But yeah, so 15 years together. I'm assuming that you're probably at least in your mid-30s, if not older. You have 3 dogs, and he was with a man for 15 years. You live together. Your voice is very calming and helpful. Well, I hope that it can help you calm your hurt and help in some way. It's really hard to give advice, and I mean, I know that's what I'm here for. Obviously, I'm not going to have the answers. I think a lot of people, when they're going through a breakup or when they're going through something like this, when they're expecting infidelity in a relationship, you're really looking for videos, you're looking through books, you're asking your family, your friends for advice. You want to know what to do. Should I move on, or should I work with him to take him back? That's going to have to be a question that nobody can answer except for you. I'm 43 and he's 54. So I guess do I have any advice? I do have advice for you, Sherry, but it's going to require a little bit more on your part. 15 years is a long time to be with somebody and then have a separation happen. Okay, so again, I know that you suspect he cheated on you, but what caused him to move away? What caused him to move an hour away and get another job in another city? Was this something that he just decided all of a sudden? Was it a big fight that happened? Was it a lot of fighting? Did you guys just start fighting a lot? Did you find... I mean, I don't have a lot of details on what happened, so it's really hard to give you any kind of advice just based on what I've read so far. And I know that you've typed quite a bit, but 15 years is a long time to try to put into a few lines of text. Give me clarity on that. The one thing I do believe is that since you guys did spend so much time living together, I absolutely believe you that this hurts. This is hard. I do believe that you love him and you care about him, or you wouldn't be here. I also believe that with 15 years, he probably does care about you a good deal, and he probably does love you. But sometimes, Barry, love isn't enough. And if he is or did cheat on you, like if he's cheating on you now while you're apart and you're separated, that's one thing. But the real question is, was he cheating on you when you were living together, right? And that's really what you're going to have to determine. And you may not ever have, at this point, you may never have any kind of proof. It's really going to be what you believe in your heart. And do you believe the people that were telling you this, or would the people that were telling you this have any kind of motivation for telling you hearsay, try to cause a split in your... A lot of people will say things that aren't entirely true, with, I wouldn't say evil intent, but with not the best intentions. He said I treated him poorly. Okay? And he's blaming me. All this happened so fast. Okay? So when he says that you treated him poorly, and he's blaming you for him leaving. When's the last time you saw him, Sherry? Welcome to the stream, everybody. And if you guys are here and you guys have some kind of a breakup, or you guys have some kind of advice for Sherry as you're watching, or if you guys have any kind of something you're going through, whether it be a breakup or a question about your relationship or marriage or whatever it might be, feel free to put it in the chat, and I will definitely I try to get you guys one at a time and give you my best advice, and hopefully give you guys a little bit of comfort, and try to steer you guys in a healthy direction for you. Yes, he is cheating on me now, and I know it started when he left, assuming. When I saw him 2 mornings ago, by chance. Okay. But you saw him 2 mornings ago by chance. Don't really understand what that means. I hope you're not, Sherry. I really do hope that, I know relationships can be very difficult, but I hope that you're not driving by where he lives. I hope you're not driving by where he works, that kind of thing, because that is definitely not healthy for you. I know that the temptation is huge to do that kind of thing when you're going through a breakup and you've been together for 15 years with somebody. He was going behind my back, and I knew the girl. Okay. So when you say he was going behind your back, it almost sounds like this is something that you kind of suspected or think might have been going on when you were together, you were living together, or do you think this is just somebody that you've been seeing since he left? Okay, so he was at a mutual friend's house and you didn't know he was there. Okay, so it's not like you're spying on him or trying to drive by his house and find out or anything like that. The fact that it's only been a couple of months since he split up, Jerry, and whether he was cheating on you or not, but you have multiple people saying that your partner was cheating on you, and it sounds like you guys were fighting, and he was kind of blaming you, saying that you treated him bad, and the fact that he's moved on so quickly. She's a dirty girl. Gotcha. That's really hard. Yeah, that's really hard for, I do have a lot of empathy for you, and I know that it's really hard. First of all, be thankful you don't have any kids with this guy. Like, you haven't had any kids with him for 15 years, so you're 43 now. That means you guys got together when you were in your late 20s, and you spent a lot of time together, so that makes it very difficult. But my concern here, Sherry, is for you. Now that I've gotten a little bit more clarity on kind of what's going on, and I appreciate you telling me as much as you have, and if you do have any more that you want to tell me, or if you need to clear anything that I might be misunderstanding, feel free to put it in the chat. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and go with where my life experience and my training has taught me. The training that I've been doing for the last 7 months or so to become a relationship life coach. And more than that, I think I'm relying on just experience as well. I didn't know everyone else knew before me. I just found out the other day. Okay, so that is one thing when you're in a relationship, or you're, especially when you're living together. I think a lot of times we kind of turn a blind eye to things that are going on. It's one of the things, like, I know that, as you go through life, you may see other people in relationships or other people's marriages or whatever, and you're wondering, for example, a woman that's getting beaten, by her boyfriend or whatever. You wonder why this woman stays in that relationship. And I can tell you that people stay in relationships that aren't good for them because they do turn a blind eye, and because they do feel like they really love somebody, and they're so caught up in their emotions and their ties and their connections with this other person that they really can't see clearly. By this point, with him being gone 2 months now, and with you seeing that he is with what you call a dirty girl, and spending time with her, and probably, having intercourse with her, and everything else that's probably going on, that does tell me that, Sherry, either he's rebounding, okay, but more than likely, and I know this is something you probably don't want to hear, the chances are real high that your partner chances are real high that your partner wanted to leave you long before he actually did. So he was probably thinking about it, and because he was thinking that he wanted to leave, break up with you, chances are very high that he was either already cheating on you before he left, or he wanted to cheat on you. He wanted to be with maybe not just the girl you're talking about. He wanted to spend time and be intimate with other ladies, if not just one, but maybe potentially more than one. He wanted free. And if he's telling you that you treated him badly, that may or may not be the truth. It's really hard to know. When people leave and when people break up with somebody that they've been with, especially as long as 15 years, they may have a tendency to point the finger and say, hey, this is your fault. I'm leaving because you're treating me badly. But the truth may be a lot of different things, and I have no idea because I don't know him, I don't know how he thinks, and I don't know you. But it could be many different things. It could be that, it could be that he lost, like he wasn't feeling like you were a good possibility. With that happens when people get older, is it could be that, he felt neglected physically, sexually, intimately. Very good chance that he felt like he wasn't getting the attention that he deserved, or that he felt he needed. And that may explain why he started looking at other options. It could also explain why he said, hey, you treated me badly because, hey, you weren't giving me what I needed. Instead of giving me cuddles, instead of giving me sex, instead of giving me kisses, you were always nagging and, whining and in my life. And that may be kind of how he felt. I know that's something pretty common in relationships and marriages as well, especially when people have been together for so long. See what Sherry's saying, if she's listening to me here. He has never once said we were done. Never said he was leaving. He just said at work. He never told me he wanted this. Oh, so you have no closure, right? Gotcha. So he didn't, you guys didn't actually have a breakup then. He basically told you, hey, he made you think that, he said that you were treating him badly, but he made you think that you guys were still together, and he just left and went to get a job in another city. Playing the blame game. Yeah, gaslighting. Yeah, I mean, gaslighting is a real thing, and I haven't done a video on gaslighting yet, but, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I will be putting up a gaslighting video here probably in the next week sometime, going over, a lot of different ways you can know if you're being gaslighted, what gaslighting is, and how dangerous it can be to be gaslighted. And yeah, no breakup. Okay, so I thought that you guys actually had a fight or something like that, or he left for, you guys were separated, because the first thing I think you said was that you were been separated for 2 months, so I assumed that you and him had actually split up. But when you said separated, you just meant that he was living in a different city so he could work. Okay, so with that, knowing that definitely changes things. Knowing that you've seen him with your own 2 eyes, that he's been cheating on you with what you call a dirty girl. It doesn't really matter who the girl is. He's obviously breaking the trust that he spent so long. Yeah, it is really messed up, Jerry, and I do want to go ahead and apologize for you. And I know that you might be out there talking to me, and you might be crying, you might be feeling your heart feel like it's being ripped out, because I might be the first person that's telling you, hey, I don't know who all you've talked to, if you have friends and family that you've talked to about what's going on. But I think a lot of times in these situations, we kind of hold a lot of stuff in, and we don't really talk to people, and we kind of feel more comfortable coming into a live stream like this one here, and kind of, just typing in the chat and saying what's going on. My heart does go out to you. I do feel, really bad for you, Sherry. Um, but yeah, I mean, if he told you that, hey, I'm just gonna move to this other city so I can do this job, I'll be over there, and he made you believe that you're still a couple, and that he was just working, and now you're rarely seeing him, and when you did see him, unexpectedly at a mutual friend's house, and he was with another girl. Yeah, that's really showing me that he has no, he's basically cheating on you, and he hasn't given you the closure he needed, which means that, again, that he doesn't care for you anymore like he should, especially after being with you for 15 years. He should definitely have more love and care that he does to do that. Yeah, with everything that you've given me here, Sherry, I would say that for your own well-being and for your own health, mental health, emotional health, every kind of health, I would advise you to go no contact with this guy. I would advise you to split things up, to split up. Tell him that you're not going to accept a man not giving you giving you what you need, and not respecting you enough to not be cheating on you while he's living an hour away working. I know that's not what you want to hear. I know you probably hope that I could give you some kind of magical, thing to write or letter to write or thing to say that would make him suddenly see the error of his ways and come back home and live with you and fix it all. But you deserve, Sherry, I don't even know you, but I can tell you, you deserve to be loved for who you are. You deserve to be respected and not cheated on. And you deserve to have a man that genuinely loves you. Yeah. I would definitely cut things off, Sherry, as hard as it's going to be, because you want to be happy. And if I ask you right now, if I ask you the past month, if I ask you right now, you're involved, you're in a relationship with this man, if I ask you to be completely honest with me, how happy have you been the last month? With him living an hour away, and with this guy seeing that he cheated on you, and with this guy not giving you much of himself, doesn't sound like, for the past month, how happy have you been for the past month? Or the past 2 months since he's been gone? I've already come to terms with it, and I'm just having a hard time. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly understandable. And, it's completely healthy and understandable that this would be a very difficult time for you and would have a hard time coping with it, and, dealing with a man that you've been with for 15 years cheating on you, leaving you and living an hour away and not giving you much time or care. You guys talk a lot, or do you guys, for the most part, don't talk much? Sounds like you guys don't really talk much. Not so happy. You're very happy when I did see him. You mean when you were with him for 15 years? But even if you're being honest with yourself, Sherry, I feel like I got hit by a truck. I think the more you do self-reflection on how you really felt, like even the couple of months before he moved away, if you really look at it hard, you'll probably see some cracks in your relationship with him. You'll probably see that you weren't exactly as happy as you might want to believe. The last part before he did leave, or at least you'll see that maybe the cracks where he wasn't as happy. Because it takes a lot. I think it takes a certain level of unhappiness before somebody to leave somebody they've been with for 15 years. And if he wasn't happy, it's probably not a fetch to think that you probably weren't as happy as you might think you were, the couple months before he left. We didn't talk at all. Um, at his convenience. Oh no, when he would come and see you, you were happy? Okay. Yeah, because when he leaves and he moves an hour away, that's really hard because suddenly this man that's been living with you for so many years, um, it's a shock to the system, you know? It's a big shock, it's a big change. And one thing that humans aren't good with is drastic change like that. So when you're used to waking up and being with somebody every day and seeing them, for as they pour the first cup of coffee, as you eat dinner with them, as they're watching TV, whatever, you're used to somebody being there in your bed. You're used to somebody being there in your house. You're used to having that person that you can laugh with or talk to, or maybe watch a TV show together with, or the news with, or whatever. You're used to that person being there on a day-to-day basis. And suddenly when he leaves and moves an hour away, it's a big shock to the system. And it can hurt. And so, of course, once you get this, you see this person that you've been uh, used to seeing for so many years, and you see him again and you spend time with him, that's going to feel a little bit more normal compared to what it's been like for however long he's been gone. And it's hard when he's not there, you know? I see what you're talking about. I think he's going through the dark night of my soul. All these things are here as pictures of his kids and grandkids, his clothes, schools, lessons. Hey Joshua, how you doing? Deep Freeze, welcome to the stream, guys. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Everything is still here. Yeah, and that makes it even harder, Sherry. I think it's time, Sherry, that you really took a real hard look at how unhappy you probably were, how unhappy he probably was. And I mean, I'm concerned about you because you're the one here in my stream talking and telling me that you're hurting and that you're having a hard time with this separation, with the fact that you caught him cheating on you, because you guys haven't actually split up. He just said he was moving an hour away, and now you caught him with another woman. He left. He was telling you that you didn't treat him right, and he was probably really unhappy as well with the relationship. He obviously didn't value you very much at all, or he wouldn't have, been with another woman. Period. So this isn't a man that you can trust at this point, And so if you're talking about, I know that a big part of you inside is thinking, oh, I want to work things out because we've been together for so long. But at this point now, you can't trust him, Terry, because you've caught him with another woman. And so I do believe that infidelity can be forgiven and you can work through that, but it takes two people really working at it. It takes two people that really want to be together. It takes him being extremely apologetic, sincerely apologetic for what he's done to you and for hurting you. And I doubt that that's the case here. I doubt that he's feeling really apologetic for being with another woman. I doubt that he wants to make it up to you or that he wants to work this out. And if you continue to try to hang on to him, the only thing that's likely to happen, Sherry, is you're just going to get further and further hurt. You're going to see more and more cheating. You're going to see more and more anger and resentment from him. And it's just going to hurt you more. Right? No, this isn't a DVD stream, Decrease. This is, as the title says, this is relationship and breakup support. So I don't know why you would come in here expecting me to play a game. But thanks for coming in, man. Just use this time to reflect and thankful for this live stream. But I still love him. Yeah, I'm not telling you not to love him. You probably will love him for a very long time, Sherry. I still love him. I'm willing to let him come home when he's ready to. So it's been a couple of months and you're still really ready for him to come home. Sherry, I know this is hard, but again, I'll go back to what I said about 15 minutes ago. You deserve to be loved and respected and appreciated, okay? You are not hot garbage. So don't accept a man as your partner that's going to treat you the way that he has the past couple of months. Going to cheat on you, you know. All right, have a good one, Deep Freeze. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, you deserve to have a man that's not going to cheat on you. You deserve to have a man that's going to want to be with you. You deserve to have a man that's not going to move an hour away from you to get some space. You deserve to have a man that's going to want to be in the same house as you, that's going to want to live with you, protect you, hold you, and treat you like the wonderful person that you are. And he is not the only fish in the sea, Sherry. There are how many, billions of people on this earth. And there are millions and millions of men, probably in California alone. Okay? So somebody will treat you better. And I'm not saying this person will come along today or tomorrow, but in the meantime, while you are moving away from him, first suggestion to you is to all these things that you're talking about that hurt to see, the pictures of his grandkids, his clothes, his things, for your own well-being, Sherry, you need to box these things up and get these things out of your vision. You need to box them up, take your time, but box these things up and put them out in the garage or put them in a safe place. Don't destroy his things, but box them up, get them out of your sight, and try to work on yourself. Okay, now is a time that you really want to focus on things that you're passionate about, whatever that is. Maybe you're passionate about sewing or quilting or reading, or maybe you always wanted to write a book, or you always wanted to learn to play the piano, or maybe you always wanted to paint like Bob Ross, or you always wanted to go on a hot air balloon ride. Whatever it is that you've always wanted to do, focus on your passions, focus on what you want, focusing on bettering yourself while you're, while he's away. And I wouldn't let him back in because he's disrespected you too much. I would not, I don't know that I would forgive him easy because he's cheated on you now. And until he really makes some kind of an effort or shows you, that he's sorry. I have a video, Sherry, on what if an ex comes back to you. Things you need to look for and things you want to ask them before you ever let them come back into your life. You might want to check that video out. I did it a couple months ago on my channel. Definitely check that video out, Sherry, on things you need to make sure your ex, questions you need to ask your ex before you let them back into your life. And you need to take a look at that video before you ever let him come back. But if he comes back to you, it's probably not going to be good. He's probably just going to want to use you, and it's probably not going to be healthy unless he truly is sorry for hurting you, sorry for cheating on you, and he really does feel sympathetic. You can't just let him walk back into your life and do the same thing that he's been doing to you for the last several months. Osterus, hey man, good job giving people support. Keep up the good work. I hope you're able to help a lot of people. I hope so. That's kind of my goal. Joshua says he needs accountability to someone in the... one thing I would say before you get her on another man, my father was an alcoholic and he got an apartment sober up for a few months when he was sober. And once he's done with the alcohol, he came back home, and my mom had a new man who, after 15 years, their marriage headbutted her teeth out and infected her with STDs. Oh my God, from his cheating over all the years. Well, my dad is sober 20 years now and has a good life. If my mom had patience, would have a good man, my father, not separated our family and not allowed that evil stepfather that abused her as he did. No, that's a good point, Joshua. Obviously, if she does ever go out there to look for another man, obviously she's going to want to take all the lessons she's learned about the relationship she just had for the last 15 years in her life experience and move slowly. You always want to move really slowly and look for red flags anytime you start, seeing another potential date or another man. And it sounds like your mother probably didn't use good judgment with whatever man, headbutted her and gave her STDs and everything that you're talking about. So, what I'm saying is, from the sounds of it, it sounds like Sherry, if she uses good judgment and takes her time, she could probably find a man that wouldn't hurt her the way that her partner has hurt her. He wouldn't leave her, he wouldn't cheat on her. Anytime that you get cheated on, and a man that leaves and works an hour away and needs space and stuff like that, it's not a good sign. So he's probably not real happy in the relationship, and with that, he's obviously not very happy, or he wouldn't be cheating on her. So he doesn't value her very much, and she could probably do a lot better. It's just going to take a lot of time. Work on yourself, Sherry. Focus on the things that you value, whether it be your dogs, your cats, whatever it is, your pets. You mentioned you have 3 pets. Focus on you. This is you time. Okay? No more focusing on him, because he's definitely not very focused on you, and he doesn't deserve your time right now. At least right now, he doesn't deserve your time, he doesn't deserve your heart, and he doesn't deserve your tears right now. I know that's easy to say, I know it hurts, and I know it's hard, but I'm trying to help you be a better person, better off, by telling you what you need to hear. Thank you very much. I'm passionate about rocks. I will definitely so much. There you go. Yep. Do what you find enjoyable. Work on yourself. Work on bettering yourself, Sherry. The best. As long as you focus on yourself right now, and you're careful, eventually the right man will come back or come into your life. It could be him at some point in the future, but it sounds like with him cheating on you recently, it doesn't sound like he's anywhere close to that point. And he may never come back into your life. He may never want to come back and treat you the way you deserve to be treated. So I don't know. It's impossible to know. But right now, it doesn't sound like that's going to happen anytime soon. So my suggestion to you is to try to be happy, focus on the simple things in life, and work on yourself, and take one day at a time. One day at a time. Just focus on you and being happy, the best you. Joshua says she needs to give her old man a chance, and if he is sincere, Joshua, he's not at that point where he's trying to get her back. Yeah, he's not in a situation where your father was. Yeah, so she's not in the same kind of situation right now. Yeah, he's probably not going to go to counseling. He's up cheating on her, Joshua. He's moved away, and he's up cheating on her. He's not going to be in a situation where he's willing to go to counseling and make it work. So he's the one at fault here, not Sherry. Sherry didn't kick him out. Sherry didn't make him cheat. The guy has chosen that he doesn't value her enough to stay home, care for her, and treat her with loyalty and respect. How you doing, Road? Good to see you, man. Yeah. People do change. People do have, yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, I mean, I know it's easy to look back on your own experience and how much you love your father and how much you love your mother and be like, my mother chose a bad man, and, kind of put people in the same spot as your own experience and stuff like that. But from the sounds of it, from what Sherry's told me, it doesn't sound like this is the same kind of situation as what your parents were in. Yeah, Sherry, it's not going to be easy. Do the best you can. Like I say, just one day at a time. And I promise you that, you hold your chin up, you hold your chest out, and you realize that you are a great woman and you deserve better. Take one day at a time, and I promise you that it will get easier and it will hurt less day by day. Eventually, you're going to be happy. You're going to be happier than you've been in a long time, and you'll realize that. So it may take, it takes people a different amount of time, depending on who you are. But eventually, whether it be next month or 5 months from now or maybe a year from now, eventually you're going to look back at this and you're going to realize that you are better off without him. And I know you don't see that right now, but eventually you're going to look back and you're going to realize that you're probably going to look back and wish you hadn't wasted 15 years on him, on a man that eventually left you and cheated on you. And you're going to be happy that you're probably going to be happy that he moved away. You're going to be happy that he did all the things he did, because you're going to be like, wow, I'm so much happier now. And whether that just be by yourself, or whether that be because you've met another man that treats you with respect and shows you true love that he maybe never did, you're just going to be happier one way or another. And I assure you of that. So hopefully you believe what I say. Hopefully you can hold your chin up and take one day at a time, and realize that the sun is out there. You know, it's dark right now. It's dark and cold in your life right now, but I promise you that sun's going to come up. Joshua says, would you talk about your relationships so we know experience? I've had a lot of relationships, Joshua. Yeah, Road, it is heartbreaking. 15 years. I mean, I was married for 15 years as well, Barry. So, and you know, my wife kind of did the same thing. Like, you know, she kind of left, but it was more of a breakup when she left. So, you know, and she hasn't been the same as this. You know, she's a completely different person now than when I met her. So sometimes you can love somebody with all your heart, and you fall in love with one person, and then as we go through life, we change. And it might be very well what happened with him, Sherry. People do change as they get older, and as they, as people kind of, you know, mature, and life changes people, and people grow to want different experiences or value different things. People can change, and like my ex-wife is definitely not the same person that she was when I met her, and I am not the same person that he met and fell in love with when we met. And you know, we grew apart, and it might be the same thing for you, Sherry. Like, maybe you guys kind of grew apart. Like, what you had might have been great for a good number of years, but then as people change, you know, sometimes you change, where you once were a round peg going into a round hole, and now, you know, he's a square peg, and as much as you want to hold on to him, that square peg just doesn't fit in your, you know, your oval shaped hole anymore, whatever. You're two different people. You've grown apart, basically. Joshua says, I've been with my wife for 10 years. May the 1st, 2010. 10 years is a long time, especially in today's age, Joshua. Let me ask you, Joshua, how difficult has it been with COVID, being married for the past, like, year? Have you guys been in the same house? A lot more with COVID. I know and do believe that a lot of people are going to have, you know, I believe there's going to be a lot of divorces filed once the world goes back to some kind of normalcy. Because I think a lot of people are feeling, you know, they're getting too much of their spouse or their boyfriend or whatever and living together. And I'm sure that a lot of people are getting on each other's nerves big time. Now, I think it's going to take a really healthy relationship to be stuck indoors in quarantine for as long as we've been in quarantine and not drive each other crazy. Zulus, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Rhodes says, I can't give out advice. I have no experience. It's just my girlfriend in high school. I've been alone ever since. Yeah, if anybody can give you advice or tell you that you can make it alone, it would be my good buddy Rode here, guys. Definitely check him out over on YouTube. He's also a streamer of games over on Twitch. He's been a good friend for, gosh, about 5 years now or something. Rode is a good friend that I met in a video game many years ago. Joshua says, growing apart, though I have seen bits of that in mine, and we work through it. Exactly. Breaking up is hard to do. Shout out for doing these streams. Yeah, Zulus, welcome back. I know you showed up for my first stream a couple of days ago when we didn't have anybody coming in and really talking. It was just Zulus. For the most part, I streamed for like an hour and a half, or an hour and 45 minutes or something like that, and it was just me basically just talking and Zulus talking as well. But we didn't have anybody come in and look for advice. And today, Terry, you are my first viewer on a live stream that's reached out to me and asked me for help. So I want to go ahead and say I'm honored to hopefully give you some kind of advice and clarity on what direction you need to move in your current situation based on what you've told me. I know it's probably not what you wanted to hear, but again, in time, I think you'll see that I was probably right with my advice and that you will be a lot happier at some point and it will get easier day by day. Joshua says, we're not afraid of it. Most of it has been through our jobs. We still go out, etc. Sometimes she feels overwhelmed with me, but then we do our own things. I game and study, and she studies and creates arts. Yeah, I think it's very important for two people in any couple to have not only things that you do together. I think that's very important as well. I think you should be doing things together even if you don't have a lot in common. But I do think it's very important for every couple to have your own time, your own hobbies, and your own interests. So anybody that says that two people need to, two people that say, oh, I met somebody and they're exactly the same as me. We have exactly the same hobbies. We like exactly the same music artists. We like exactly the same kind of movies. We do everything together. That's not healthy. Yeah, if you think you have exactly the same interest and you do every single little thing together and you never have your own time, you never have your own hobby time, that's not going to be healthy. You guys, two people like that, I guarantee you, it's not going to work out because you guys are going to eventually rub. You guys are eventually going to get sick of each other and irritate the living crap out of each other. So having your own time, your own interest, your own projects, your own passions is exactly what you want. I'm not saying that you want to be completely different and not like any of the same things together, but you definitely want to be individuals. I think people need to understand that there's too many people out there that go into a relationship and they feel like, and Jerry, even if you're still here, let's talk about real quick here. Sometimes you feel overwhelmed. When there's a delay, you ask me when, see, and read. Yeah, YouTube has a live streaming. It has a chat delay. Takes time to heal with a broken heart, Zula says. He says, it's nice to have things in common, but you have to have your own time too. Exactly. Joshua says, what matters is politics and religion. Everything else is just taste. Yeah, your taste and who you are do change over time, Joshua. You bring up a great point. But I think everybody needs to understand that love and relationships in the real world, and I've said this before in videos, guys. You're still here, Sherry. So a big problem with relationships in the real world, whether it be marriages or relationships in the real world, is we grow up watching movies and TV shows and listening to the thousands of songs we listen to every single year, and all these songs and media and books and movies and TV shows, they paint this picture of love. And it's not just Disney movies, it's every movie. It's action movies, it's everything that we watch. And we have this idea of love from everything that we're bombarded to from a very early age growing up. And we kind of believe like this Cupid thing, like, Valentine's Day and Cupid. We believe that true love happens to us and we don't even want it. So because we watch all these movies and TV shows and stuff like that, we believe that we're just walking along one day and Cupid hits us with an arrow and suddenly we wake up and we're in love, right? You meet this person and suddenly you're in love within moments of meeting them, that you have the eye contact. And really what this is, guys, when you meet somebody and you have the butterflies in your stomach and you feel like you have tons of chemistry and you can't keep their eyes off their face or their body or whatever, that's not love, right? When you have explosive fireworks when you first meet somebody and it feels like a ton of chemistry and it feels like, oh my God, I met the one within a day or two or whatever, more often than not, that's infatuation and or lust, right? It's not going to last. That isn't what lasts. What you want to find is a So for example, let me give you guys an idea, right? So if I'm out in the woods, right? Which is, let's say the woods, it's a cold, kind of like what you're looking at there in Skyrim, right? It's cold, it's damp, it's foggy, there's moisture in the air, right? And I want to warm up. So I want to build a fire, right? I want to build a campfire to warm up, right? So this is really, imagine the world we live in as this cold, rainy forest, right? Kind of the world we live in. And here I am, I'm wanting to warm up. I'm wanting to be happy and comfortable, right? And so the relationship, imagine the relationship that I get involved with as a fire, as a campfire that I build, okay? So what too many of us look for from all the movies and TV shows and everything that we watch and we're bombarded with is we believe that, hey, if I take gasoline and I have an empty fire pit here and I don't have any wood, I don't have any kindling, I don't have anything to really get that fire going, but what I do have is some paper. I wad up a bunch of paper and I pour some gasoline on it. That's kind of like your instant super attraction, right? That's when we meet somebody and we feel, oh my God, I have this pit. I feel butterflies in my stomach. I can't stop looking into their eyes. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. Oh my God, they're this and they're that. And we have all these instant chemistry, like, wow, this is the best thing. That's that super instant infatuation, right? And what that is like with our fire pit is like taking that paper and wadding up a whole bunch of paper with no wood in the fire pit, pouring gasoline on it, and then lighting a fire, right? How long is that fire going to burn? Yeah, it's going to shoot way up. That gasoline is going to cause that paper and the gasoline is going to cause that fire to shoot way up in the air. And we're going to be like, wow, I started a huge fire. This is great. But within seconds, it's going to burn out quick, right? And that cold wind is going to blow, and there's not going to be any flames there to keep us warm all night long, right? What we're looking for is to slowly take our time and use kindling and pieces of wood and a little bit of paper underneath and start a fire that doesn't flame up so much, but maybe just starts off real low, and then we kind of have to, prick at it through the night to keep it going, right? And a fire that doesn't look so impressive or feel so amazing right initially, but that fire that you built correctly, it's going to take a lot more time, it's going to take a lot more work, but that fire is going to have embers that build up over time, right? And that fire is what's going to actually keep you warm through that long, cold night. And imagine that long, cold night as your life, right? So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a friendship, a relationship that builds slowly over time, where you begin to start trusting this other person, right? It's not something that's all fireworks right at the start, right? And with a real relationship, you want to learn how to communicate, how to be honest with each other, and how to realize that real love isn't something that has all those butterflies. It isn't something like fireworks right at the start. That's just lust. That's just infatuation, and that's not going to last. Let's get to some of the other comments here. Joshua says, "Why is rap music so much drugs and sex with strangers? It's meaningless. Why isn't the things that hurt and destroy lives celebrated?" That's a good question, Joshua. What's your profession, Zaxter? I was in the Navy for 7 years, and since I was in the Navy, I've done a lot of customer service work. So I am kind of a people person. I do a lot of customer service work. Now I'm obviously a YouTuber on the side. It's kind of my passion and my hobby. Making content, making videos, playing games. Something I enjoy, and it's something I enjoy sharing. Sherry says it really does happen like that. Tula says, Joshua, because someone profits off it. Frank says, not all rap is about that. Lots are telling their story, not just telling you to do it. That's true. That's a good point, just a Frank. A lot of people, a lot of music, period, not just rap, is, somebody telling their story, something that happened to them, song, somebody trying to put their life into words, because that's where passion really comes from, like, the heart, where their heart really comes from is by putting it into words for a song, into a tune for a song that millions of people can listen to, kind of fit that into their own life. The better the song is, the better the words are, the more versatile the words are that are written, the more people that can relate to that song. Right? great songs can relate to a bunch of different people, millions of different people, in different ways. Joshua says, good analogy with the gasoline. Thank you for your service. Yes, appreciate it. Thanks so much for that. Thank you, Joshua. Yeah, Sherry, anybody else in a relationship, anybody else going through a breakup or whatever, realize I've been there myself. I know how hard it is to go through a breakup. I know how hard it is, especially if you have kids. You know, if you're going through a marriage or you have, you know, you don't even have to go through a divorce or whatever. You have kids. Whether you've had the kids with the other person or not, if you, like, for example, if a woman meets a guy and she has a 2-year-old, when she meets a guy and she spends 10 or 15 years with this guy, and this guy kind of takes the father role to this kid, and then they have a split, you know, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be a lot harder if you have kids than if you don't have kids. So be thankful for that, Sherry. Be thankful that you don't have kids with this guy, for sure. Sherry says, are you single and how old are you? I'm getting up there, Sherry, yeah. I think people do say that I sound younger than I am, but yeah, I'm closing in on 50 years old. I'm mid-40s. And I am divorced. I have a 15-year-old son. I have 2 dogs. I have a bearded dragon. I have my video game. So yeah. I always dread the day that my son moves out, because that's when I'm really going to have my loneliness, my alone time. You know, in 3 or 4 years, whenever it is, that my son decides he's sick and tired of dad and he wants to move out on his own and do his own thing and have his own life. It's going to be a hard day for me. Growing really close to my son, especially since divorce. Yeah. Yep, closing in on it, Sherry. I'll be there before long. 4 years. 2 more years, yep. I know I don't sound like it, but you know, the wisdom that I have that I'm sharing with you guys is from, you know, almost half a century of life and relationships and a marriage. Yes, I do play on Steam, Joshua. Right, same when my son moves out. Zulus knows what I'm scared of. Zulus knows that fear. I think a lot of people that have kids that get really close to their kids. Guys, thanks so much for the likes. We have 6 likes. I appreciate you guys all being here and talking with me. It's a lot different than the stream I had the other day, where it was just Zulus and I talking for an hour and 45 minutes. I didn't have anybody to talk to or anybody. And guys, I can tell you right now that if we continue to get this kind of support, if we continue to get this kind of live stream, in a couple of months, I'll probably have 20 or 30 people or maybe more in these streams, and I'm going to have many different people looking for help, looking for my advice. So this is just the start. This is exactly what I want to do. This is exactly where I want to be. This is exactly why I've taken 7 months now of online classes that I paid money for and that I got a grant for to become a relationship life coach. Right? I want to be the best I can do. I want to give the best advice I can to my viewers, the people like Sherry here who came in looking for advice, looking for honest advice on where I think she should go based on what she told me happened with her and her 15-year partner. Probably not what she wanted to hear. You know, I'm sure a small part of her, you know, wanted me to hear, oh, here's what you do, Sherry. You go and you write in this letter and you say these exact words, and he's going to come running back in the door and hold on to you and never let go. But I think somewhere in Sherry's heart, she knows that even though I told her probably what she didn't want to hear, I think somewhere inside she knows that I told her the cold hard truth. And I told her what she needs to hear for her own health, her own emotional health, and her own well-being. Her own happiness in the future. It's going to be a long, slow process, Sherry. Or anybody else that might be here that's going through something like what Sherry, you know, if you've been in a relationship and somebody broke up with you, somebody cheated on you or whatever, everybody realize that you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be treated with respect, right? And I know everybody has a bad day. People have irritations. People have bad days at work or whatever, and they come home and they might, say something mean or be harsh or, not think before they speak or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is there's too many relationships out there where continually, day in, day out, somebody is with a partner, maybe a spouse, whatever, that treats them like crap. It doesn't have to be physical, right? It doesn't have to be physical violence, but there's too many people that stay with people their whole life or way too long with a partner that treats them bad, with a partner that doesn't show them care and love. There's too many married couples that live like roommates, just raising their kids, and they don't really connect. They don't really talk about anything deeper than, hey, did you pay this bill? Hey, can you go pick up some tomatoes from the grocery store? Hey, can you order McDonald's? When that's as deep as your conversations are, then you deserve more. Both of you do. So relationships take a lot of work. And this is what I'm talking about. We're brought up, with all these movies and songs and TV shows, thinking that love is automatic. That Cupid hits us with an arrow when we wake up one day and we're just in love. And we didn't want love. It just happened automatically. Like in the movies. They fell in love automatically. They didn't even want to fall in love. But now they're in love and they can't help it. And when people are brought up believing that, what happens is they get into a real relationship and they have real problems. They have their partner that's sick. They have bills that they can't pay. They have jobs that are lost. They have things happen. The car doesn't start. You can't get to work, and the washing machine breaks. And all these things happen in real life because it is part of life. And when you believe that you've fallen in love automatically, you wanted no part of it, you just wake up automatically one day and you're in love, like the movies portray. And the movies also portray that it always works out at the end, right? How many movies have we seen where maybe they have a hard relationship, but at the end of the movie, the boy always wins the girl? And they don't really even have to try that hard. It's usually just a love letter, or this or that, or sending them chocolates, or saying the right words, and they win their heart back, and you hear the dramatic music, and they're happily ever after. In the real world, that bullshit doesn't happen, right? In the real world, when somebody's unhappy and they leave, they're usually gone, right? Or they cheat. And there isn't no words or letters or recordings or videos or anything that you can do that's going to change that person's mind, right? That person wants out. That person isn't happy. The more you talk, the more you plead, the more you cry, the more you send them videos or tapes or song links or whatever, the more you're going to push that person further and further away. That's what happens in the real world when breakups happen. It's not like the movies. And so this is what I'm talking about. You can't believe all the bullshit that we're brought up with all the time that love's automatic. Because when you get in a real marriage or a real relationship, love, the problems that come don't automatically fix themselves. You have to believe, you have to work at it, you have to communicate, you have to push, you have to try. It's give and take. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices for your partner, and sometimes they have to make sacrifices for you just to get through those hard times, right? It doesn't happen automatically. And so what happens is people believe that love's automatic, and then when they get involved in these relationships or they get married and these problems don't automatically go away without working at them, people give up. People give up because they don't want to work at it. And that is when problems happen. That is when breakups happen. That is when divorces are filed. Because people believe that, hey, I fell in love automatically. I should automatically be happy. These problems should automatically fix themselves. I shouldn't have to work at it. And it's not working. And this must be the wrong partner. This must be the wrong person. I'm out. And they give up. So the media industry, movies, songs, TV shows, everything that we're bombarded with since we're a young kid is dangerous to our well-being and our thought process when we go into these relationships. Real love isn't automatic. Real love takes work. Real love takes good communication. Real love takes honesty and being vulnerable and accepting each other for the people that they are, or the faults that they have. Nobody's perfect. People are gonna make mistakes. I believe that couples can survive even infidelity because people do make mistakes. But it takes real work. It takes real commitment. And it takes two people that are willing to go through the fire, people that are willing to walk over those, sharp rocks for miles to get to the other side to where they're more comfortable and happy. And if you're unwilling to go through that kind of work, if you're unwilling to hold hands, hold on to that partner, do what it takes, your relationship's probably going to fail. Just a Prank says, Harry says, you're correct, long and slow, Zula says. Just a Prank says, my ex started abusing me, screaming and physically due to COVID, kind of lost it. Started telling people I did stuff and hit her. But I proved I didn't, and people make it like nothing because I'm a guy. Sorry to hear that, just a Prank. That is very, very bad. That's not good at all. That's not a healthy relationship. I don't know if it's sick or what's going on there. I have a lot of information. Joshua says, be careful about this. People poison their own well. Exactly. Just a Prank says, I just made a big deal because she's a girl. But now I proved it and no one cares. Yeah. Women do tend to get the favoritism with that kind of thing, especially when they're screaming that a guy hit them or a guy abused him or whatever. Unfortunately, that is the world we live in. Just a Prank, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. The only thing I can suggest to you is keep your head up, keep your mind sharp, make sure that you continue to treat her with respect, treat her with care, even though she's being kind of an impossible biatch, it sounds like, especially with the allegations that you're hurting her. Keep your mind sharp, man. And I would get far away from that lady as you possibly can before she does get you in trouble. Zula says, my first divorce, I didn't have kids, so it was like a couple of months and no biggie. My second took me about 2 years to get over. You was only married a couple of months, your second took you about 2 years to get over. Wow. I think the Cupid thing is more of an infatuation, not really love. Exactly. People do believe that infatuation is love all too often. And again, that's because of all the movies and TV shows and songs we listen to that we're bombarded with our whole life. Joshua says people put blinders on. Yeah, exactly, to what's good. They don't know it. Gone. A very good point as well. A lot of people leave good relationships or leave good people, and they realize they left something good late. A lot of times people don't realize that they left somebody behind that was really a good person, and the other person that they left ends up being happier, whether it be single or maybe they've moved on to somebody else. And that's usually, and all too often, when the person that broke up with them or broke their heart or whatever realizes that they messed up and they want it back. Wait. Sherry says it's all an illusion. I'm willing to walk over fire. He was bugging. Yeah, who knows? Who knows, Sherry? Yeah, people talk shit. Excuse me, you're fine. Just a Prank says it mentally messed me up. I'm out of it now, but it really hurt me because I was raised to treat people right. I was like a waste of time. The person I loved. Yeah, I give you all the empathy in the world, Just a Prank. I know that's got to be really hard, especially to feel. Basically, you're feeling like you was backstabbed. Like you love this girl and treated her with care. You know, you were trying to be there for her when she was sick. And she starts screaming and saying, hey, you hurt me, you hit me, you did this, you did that. Yeah, it's her loss. Just a Prank. You know, just be, hold your shoulders up, hold your chest out, and realize that you took the, straight and narrow path. You did the right thing. Good job on that, by the way. Good job on, taking the safe path, taking the right path, not getting angry with her, not just letting people know the truth about what happened. You didn't actually hurt her. I think with that kind of what you did, people will see clearly that it's obvious that she was lying and trying to put you in a bad frame when nothing like that ever happened. So good job to you, man. Yeah, you're going to be better off with somebody that will never accuse you of things you never did, for sure. So just be happy that that happened, just a prank. Be happy that you've seen the woman she was. You've seen her herself come out, you know, before maybe you got married to her, before you had kids with her or whatever. Be happy that that happened and you was able to see who she really was before you get more invested in it. So it's kind of I hate to say it, but it's probably kind of a blessing that that'll happen, because you were able to see exactly who she is and how she can try to condemn you and blame you for things that you never did. Is there anybody else here that has any kind of words or questions or wants to share? I was just about to stop the stream as well when Sherry came in about an hour ago, I guess, a little more than an hour ago. And we spent quite a bit of time talking with Sherry about her situation, and hopefully kind of got her feeling better about moving on, being happier in the future by walking away from what was a very unhealthy relationship, or what turned into a very unhealthy relationship with the man she had been living with for 50 years. Oh, get a lot, but when it's relevant, absolutely, Joshua. Like that. All right, guys, this has been a good live stream. I want to thank you guys all for being here. Hopefully, we continue to grow and get more, more active people as we did today. This live stream has been a huge increase in chat activity from you guys over what I had on my first live stream a couple of days ago. But I did talk a lot about relationships back a couple of days ago as well, even though I didn't really have anybody asking for advice or sharing their story or anything like that. So if you guys want to go watch that live stream that I did a couple of days ago, it was pretty much just me talking to Zulus or talking to anybody who will listen. You might get something of value from that as well. Also, keep in mind, guys, that thanks for that, Sherry, and thanks so much for thanking me, Zulus. Just a prank. Thanks so much for coming in here, guys. Keep in mind, guys, that in the future, as we continue to do these streams, I am going to do these streams on Saturday morning, noon Eastern. Will be one stream that I'll be doing, and then I will also be doing a stream probably sometime Wednesday night, I believe, is when I'm going to do my next stream. So I will do it sometime Wednesday night. It's probably going to be close to a couple weeks. I'm going to be changing my hours and working. It'll probably be closer to like 11 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night, but that will be like 8 o'clock Pacific. So that's just going to be based on like when I get off work and that kind of thing. So it will be kind of a later night stream on Wednesday nights, and then a day stream at noon Eastern on Saturdays. So I'm going to do a couple of these streams every week. I do believe there is a need out there for live streams and advice and people just like me to try to, at least if nothing else, show some empathy for the heartbreaks and the tough relationship situations that so many people go through. Maybe I can or can't tell you where you need to go, what direction you should go. Really, each and every one of you is going to have to decide that for yourself. Because I don't know you, I don't know your partner, I don't know what you've been through, and it's impossible to give me every detail in a chat of how much somebody means to you, all the memories you have, everything you guys share. It's going to be impossible for you guys to share that kind of stuff, and really only you can decide. But with information like Sherry gave me earlier, I can probably pretty clearly, or at least give you a pretty clear direction on where I think you're going to be happiest in the end by moving in that direction. But only you guys can decide. It's your life. Live your life to the fullest, and just realize, people, that you deserve to be treated with respect. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be cared for. You guys have a great heart. You guys are willing to give love. You guys want love. Realize that you deserve the same in return. Don't ever accept somebody not giving you as much as you're willing to give them. Because that's not balance. And when relationships aren't balanced, they're destined to fail, and they're destined to lead to heartbreak. Alright guys, Wednesday night, we'll see you guys. If you're not, if you're a big video game fan, like I know some of you guys have come in, you guys like the video games, you're not going to find, you know, more indie game coverage anywhere, I don't think, on YouTube, besides right here on my channel. Do a lot of it, for sure. A lot of great content creators, though, and a lot of people that do make great video content on Australia rules. Absolutely it does. I'll be in Australia at 5:42 a.m. AM. Put on notifications. Yeah, exactly. Make sure you put on your notifications. Remember subscribing. Most of them has been a while. Yeah, make sure you turn your notifications on for my streams, guys, and my videos, so you guys are alerted when I do put out a new video, when I do put up a live stream. Also, for as Sherry, I think, was talking about gaslighting, look for a new video for me, or from me, all about gaslighting, how dangerous it is to be with a partner that could be gaslighting you. So I do have a video that I will be making probably in the next few days, covering gaslighting, covering signs you can, you know, you can look for to be aware that you're being gaslit in a relationship. And being gaslighted is very, very dangerous to your emotional health, to your mental health, your health overall. So please watch for that video, guys, especially if you guys feel like you're in a state where you feel like you're insane, you feel like you kind of lost your sanity, like you can't remember anything. If you're with a partner that's making you feel like, you know, you're not worthy, like you've lost your mind, like you don't have a good memory anymore, you're probably in a relationship where somebody's gaslighting you. And that is a very dangerous situation, so be sure you guys check that video out. I'm going to talk to you all about gaslighting here in a video that I'll record and upload to this channel here in the next. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. Appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. And remember, guys, you deserve to be loved, and cared for, and appreciated. Make sure that whoever you're with giving you respect and love deserved. This has been Zaxtorian 9. Take care, everybody.